Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is so nice to see all of you. I just want to make sure my microphone's on. It is not. All right. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So welcome, and a particularly special welcome to the Hoffman family and extended families. We are so exciting to be celebrating Akash's B'nai Mitzvah this weekend, and really thrilled to have all of you and all of your loved ones join us over the next couple of days. I want to start with a little bit of grounding. So if everybody, you can close your books, find yourself a nice comfortable way to sit in your chair, ideally with both feet flat on the floor. If you feel comfortable, feel free to close your eyes or let your gaze softly rest on the floor or on a spot a few feet in front of you. Ideally something that's not moving. And turn your attention to the natural rhythm of your breath. Noticing the sensations of your in-breath, chest lifting, abdomen expanding, and on your out-breath, chest falling, abdomen constricting, coming back to rest. Taking a moment to notice if you're holding any tension. Most of us spend so much time hunched over at our computers or on our phones that maybe might be nice to take the opportunity to roll your shoulders up and back and down and make sure that you're not clenching your jaw or straining your neck. And take a moment to think back about where you were exactly this time last week. Slowly ticking through the days, taking particular notice if there's an interaction, a conversation, a moment, or something that happened during this week that's been weighing on you. Noticing it, acknowledging it, and giving yourself the gift of letting it go. And if letting it go is not an option, then at least imagining loosening your grip on that interaction, on that situation, not holding it as tightly, not holding it as close to you, or at least hitting the pause button on any negative thoughts and feelings for the next hour, this evening, 25 hours of Shabbat. Giving yourself the gift of that rest and that peace. And then calling to mind something from the past week that has brought you joy. A bright spot in these increasingly darkening days of winter. Maybe it was a conversation, an interaction, a text message from someone you love, or a quiet moment to yourself amid the chaos of your day-to-day. Recalling the emotions, the sensations of that moment. Allowing ourselves to step deeper into that joy, into that peace, into that sense of love and wholeness that we can carry with us throughout this Shabbat and into our next week. Now turning your attention back to the natural rhythm of your breath, inhabiting that space of shalom, of peace, of shlemut, of wholeness, or as close as we can possibly get to it. And then if you've had your eyes closed, you can start to open them again, letting some light flutter in slowly and then more fully. Bringing your awareness back into this room as we continue with our Shabbat service with the candle blessing on page 2. And I would like to invite up the Hoffman family, the Hoffman and Dar family, to light our candles with us. Hello, hello. All right, shalom. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you so much. Yasher koach. I'll see y'all back up here for Kiddush and Motzi on the back end. And we'll continue with Shalom Aleichem, welcoming in the Shabbat angels, the spirits of Shabbat, on page 24. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem Leshalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruchuni Leshalom, Malachei Shalom, Kabbalat Shabbat, the ritual that we know as the formal welcoming of Shabbat, is a series of 7 psalms, one attributed to each day of the week. The first of which that we sing together, oh no, not the first of which, the third of which we sing together is Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash, sing unto God a new song. And we like to think about this newness in Jewish tradition as the opportunity every day, every week, to look at the world through new eyes. It may look the same to you as it did yesterday, but we can choose to take a fresh perspective on it. Similarly with our liturgy, the words on the page, the words in the Torah, stay the same, have been the same for generations. But every time we come back to them, we have changed by virtue of our experiences, our own personal growth. And so we can receive them and experience them in new ways every single time. So please join with me on page 15, the first couple of lines, Shiru Ladonai. Shiru Ladonai, Kol haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru Ladonai, Kol haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shir Chadash, Shir Chadash. On pages 20 and 21, we will sing the culminating liturgical song to officially, formally, finally welcome in the spirit of Shabbat into our midst. Lecha Dodi is a medieval acrostic poem, an acrostic of the name of Shlomo Halevi Alkabetz, a 16th century Kabbalist who wrote this liturgical piece for us. And it's been handed down through the generations, drawing on themes of creation, of all of the joys and opportunities of Shabbat, and of the, I'll say, hope for what some might call a messianic era, what others of us might consider to be the world as we want to live in it. They say that Shabbat is a slice, a fraction of the experience of the world to come. That is, not the world that it is, but the world as it might be. And so we get to step into that headspace and that heart space as of right this minute. And I encourage you to think about what it is that you would like to see. How is the world as you envision it, as it might be? Shabbat nekabela Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Hishmiyanu el hameyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shemo tiferet elitila ol echad odi likrad kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela ol echad odi likrad kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 2. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha ki mekor haveracha nerosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'makshavat chila ol echad odi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela ol echad odi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 5. Hitoreri, ki ba'orez u'mi'ori, uri, shir daveri, kevod Adonai, alai gifticha, ol echad odi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela ol echad odi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Please rise and face the door. Boi v'shalom ateret bala gam b'simcha u'b'tzola toch emudei am segula boi chala ol echad odi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela ol echad odi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Bela, Penei Shabbat, Penei Shabbat, Nekah Bela. You may be seated. On page 71, we have a song that actually very beautifully frames the Torah that I will share in a moment. This expression, Ma gadlu ma'asechaya, great are your works, Adonai, is one of many, 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 many opportunities that we have to express our gratitude for all that we have, for all that we are, for all that is in this world. So yesterday marked 12 weeks since my fiance's first niece, Alice, graced the world with her presence. And in case you didn't know, my fiance, Michael, is a rabbinical student at Hebrew College. So yes, we are on our way to being a 2-rabbi household. Get excited. And of course, being his family's almost rabbi in residence, he was asked to do the baby naming, which is his first, and it's very exciting. And it's been so fun for me to hear him and his brother and sister-in-law bounce ideas back and forth as to how to most meaningfully welcome their first child into the Jewish community. So, what is in a name? Names are incredibly, incredibly important, especially in Jewish tradition. According to the Midrash, a person has 3 names. One that they are called by their parents, one that people know them by, and one that they acquire for themselves. I'm going to say that again. One that they are called by their parents, one that people know them by, and one that they acquire for themselves. The first is the name given to that child by their family, which carries with it memories of past generations, hopes and aspirations about the person this child will become. The second is earned by the child's actions, by their own merit, their inherent talents, their idiosyncrasies, and the unique characteristics that make them uniquely who they are. And the third is that which the child gives themselves, the identity they choose to display to the world with their God-given agency. In this week's Parsha, Jacob, our third patriarch of the book of Genesis, earns himself a new name. For context, Jacob has recently extricated himself, his wives, and his children from his uncle Laban's house after 20 years, 14 years of servitude for the right to marry each of Laban's 2 daughters, and the rest in order to earn himself enough to be self-sufficient. And within moments of leaving this incredibly fraught family dynamic, his past family drama comes back to haunt him. He learns that his brother Esau, who he ran away from all those years ago, after tricking him out of his birthright and tricking their father into giving Esau's blessing as the firstborn, those troubles come to find him real quick. Needless to say, Jacob is terrified. He sets about dividing his family and all of their belongings into camps and sending them across the river towards safety, setting aside some livestock to send ahead as gifts to hopefully appease his brother Esau. Then he prays for safety, and upon setting up camp for the night to sleep, he is come upon by a man, an angel, something somewhere in between. Whatever and whoever it is that Jacob meets that night, they wrestle until just before dawn when Jacob demands a blessing, and the man/angel/whatever renames him Israel, one who wrestles with God. This is the first time in Genesis chapter 32 that we see the name Israel mentioned in biblical literature. But this is not the first name by which the tribe who would become the Jewish people is called. In Genesis 14, Abraham is described for the first time as Ish HaIvri, or Hebrew. It's translated as one from beyond, or one from the other side, one who crosses over, which has been translated in various sources as wanderer and boundary crosser. It is said that this name was given to Abraham to distinguish him as an outsider or a newcomer to this land that God had promised to him and his descendants, and to foreshadow his family's and the Jewish people's proclivity toward a peripatetic lifestyle. It's also the name by which the nation of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's descendants were known during their enslavement in Egypt during the book of Exodus. Which brings us to a third name, Yehudim, Jews, the name by which we, their descendants, are known around the world today. Yehudi comes from the name of one of Jacob's sons, Judah, one of the 12 tribes of Israel. But why was his name singled out from all of the other tribes to be chosen as the title by which the Jewish people are called? For that answer, we look to our post-Torah biblical literature, that is, the books of Joshua and the books of Kings. When Joshua ben Nun, Moses' successor, brought the Israelites over the finish line into the Promised Land, per Moses' instructions, he divided up the land, and each of the 12 tribes received a portion. And for a while, at least, everybody lived in relative harmony. After the death of King Solomon, the son of King David, a dispute split the 12 tribes into 2 kingdoms. The kingdom of Judah in the south, comprised mostly of the tribes of Judah and Benjamin, which was centered around the capital, Jerusalem, and the Holy Temple, and the northern kingdom of Israel, home to the other 10 tribes. As Judah was one of the largest of the tribes, that became the namesake of the southern kingdom. According to the book of Kings, the second book of Kings, in what we know of as the 5th century BCE, the northern kingdom of Israel was conquered by the Assyrians. And those 10 tribes were exiled and essentially lost to history. The only remaining tribes in the original Promised Land were those inhabiting the kingdom of Judah. And it was those people who would come to be known as Jews, distinguished in the ancient Near East by their monotheistic faith and rejection of idolatry practiced by nearly all of their neighbors. But we didn't come to be known as Yehudim simply for geographical reasons. Leah, Jacob's first wife and mother of 1/3 of Jacob's children, was especially grateful to God after the birth of her fourth son, Judah, saying, Hapa'am odeh et Adonai. This time, let me gratefully thank God. Naming him Judah, which shares a root with the word odeh or todah, thanks. From this, Hasidic wisdom posits that Jews have come to be called Yehudim after Judah because it is a Jewish characteristic to approach the world, as we often say around here, with an attitude of gratitude. That we have so much to be thankful for, and thus we reflect that into the world constantly, from the moment we wake up in the morning to the moment we float off to sleep, from the moment we learn to say the words thank you to our dying breath. We are grateful for all of it. Today, half of the entire Jewish population resides outside of the land of Israel. But regardless of where in the world we have made our home, we have been bound together by a shared faith, and at least elements of a shared worldview, and certain shared rituals or variations thereof. But no matter our respective beliefs, practices, ideologies, or politics, we Jews are all connected to those who came before us, those we know as Ivrim, Yisrael, and Yehudim, Hebrews, Israelites, and Jews. These shared names connect us to a shared story unique to our ancestry, to a collective consciousness that links us back through the generations and centuries, one based in and leading always with gratitude. Shabbat Shalom. We'll continue with the Baruch Hu on page 28. Please rise. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam va'ed. You may be seated. Page 32. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot chokim u'mishpatim otanu lemadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu Al tasir mimenu leolamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev amo Yisrael. Page 32. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Malchuto 36. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. The Mi Chamocha is on page 40. Mi Chamocha ba'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha nedar b'kodesh, ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו יד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. On page 42 we find the Hashkivenu, the prayer we say, are meant to say upon lying down to go to sleep, particularly at this time of year where it gets dark so early and there's seemingly so much literal and metaphorical darkness around us. We pray for protection. We pray for peace for us, for all of Israel, and for everyone everywhere. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu leshalom. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu leshalom. Let there be love, understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. On page 46, we will rise for the tefillah, the Amidah, the standing prayer. On the top of page 47, there is a quote that, though it's not attributed in this book, is attributed to Abraham Joshua Heschel, a civil rights leader and really modern prophet of that era, which says, "Pray as if everything depended on God, act as if everything depended on you." We gather to pray, not to appease some theoretical deity or being off far away somewhere. We of our own relationship with the divine as a spiritual exercise to prepare us to do life, to bring these words, these hopes, these intentions out and make them manifest in the world. That said, we will begin together on the first handful of pages. I'll call page numbers as we go. And after the Kedusha on page 52, you are on your own. It's your time for silent prayer. And you can feel free to be guided by the words on the page or the words in your heart. If you want to stay standing, you are free to do so. If you want to sit and close your eyes, you are free to do so. That is your time for whatever it is that your heart and your soul needs today. Again, we're on page 46. Adonai sefatai tiftachu fia ki tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. 48. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'Neihem למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Page 50. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechaye hakol atah rav lehoshia, mashiv haruach umorid hagashem, mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechaye hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim berofeh cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al gevorot, umido melach, melech memit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah lachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. 52. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please continue silently. We will pick back up together on page 62 in a moment. Oseh shalom bimromah, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromah, uyaseh shalom aleinu. At this time, it is our custom to recite the Mishaberach Lecholim, a prayer for healing for those who are ill or in need of some extra prayer, some extra love, some extra light. Whether that healing is needed for the mind, the body, the spirit, all are welcome to share a name with our community if you are thinking of someone at this time.
Robin Levine.
And from those who are joining us virtually, Sylvia Rotten, Liesel, Alan, Jerry, Susan, and Richard, Jan Rubenstein, Sharon Froome, and Brenda Flood. The Mishaberach can be found on page 253. Mishaberach Avoteinu Mekor Abraha Leoteinu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach Imoteinu Mekor Habracha Leovoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We'll make our way toward the close of our service with Aleinu L'Shabeach on page 282, and I will ask you to please rise as you are able. We'll be at the very top of the page. Aleinu L'Shabeach L'Adon HaKol, L'Ateit Gedula L'Yotzer Breshit, Shehu Notei Shamayim Be'osed Aretz, Umoshav Yekaro B'Shamayim Himal, U'Shchinatu Zo B'Govhei Meromim, U'Eloheinu Ein Od, V'Anachnu Korim U'Mishachavim U'Modim Lifnei Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Page 287. V'nemar V'haya Adonai Lemelech Al Kol Haaretz Vayom Hahu Vayom Hahu Yeh Adonai Echad U'Shemo At this time, we turn to the mourner's Kaddish. And if you are in a period of mourning, whether a formal period that is the first 7 days, Shiva, the first 30 days, Shloshim, the first year, Shana, or observing a yahrzeit, an anniversary of the death of a close family member or friend, or if you are thinking of someone who passed away at this time of year in years past, please feel free to share their name and their relationship to you in this space. May his memory be for a blessing.
Very wonderful women from the synagogue, Hilda Rotenberg, Miriam Osri, and the last one, Juliet Sobel.
May their memories be a blessing. And from those joining us virtually, Florence Muscat and Rachel Rashovsky, as well as all of those recalled by our community whose names are shared on our Zoom screen. Out of solidarity for those in mourning that they may never stand alone, we rise as a community for the mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, V'yithadar, v'yitale, v'yitalal, shemei d'kudsha brechu, la'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, ta'amiran be'alma, v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all who dwell on earth, to which we say, amen. You may be seated. Again, Shabbat Shalom. For those that I haven't met, I apologize for not introducing myself at the top. I see a few new faces, I think at least from here up, who are joining us this evening. My name is Rabbi Jen Queen. I'm the assistant rabbi here at Temple Ohabei Shalom, and it is such a joy to be with all of you and to celebrate Shabbat together. We are excited to continue our celebrations of Shabbat and of a particular milestone moment tomorrow morning at 10:30 in our sanctuary. We will be celebrating the B'nai Mitzvah of Akash Hoffman, and we are very excited to celebrate them tomorrow along with their family. And additionally, we have a couple of other announcements. Please join us on Tuesday, the 13th at 7:30 p.m. on Zoom for our Social Action Committee kickoff meeting for this coming year. We're going to be talking about a number of different initiatives and opportunities to get involved and to contribute to our ongoing work toward repairing the world. On Thursday the 15th at 9 a.m., Rabbi Berkman will be teaching her Torah for the Heart and Mind class on Zoom. And this time, next week, same time, same station, we will be back here for Erev Shabbat Services in person and on Zoom. And next Saturday, starting at 9:30 a.m., we'll be celebrating Shabbat morning biyachad, starting with breakfast and Torah study, followed by a short service that's here in the chapel. And then at 10:30, we'll be celebrating the bar mitzvah of Toby Paradise in person and on Zoom. So we hope you can join us. All of the links for all of the things are on the newsletter. And if you're not on the newsletter, please come and find me or one of our staff at the end. And just a very quick thank you to Andy O'Connell for lending his beautiful musical talents, and to Josh Cohen for being Zoom and tech master as always, and Alex Brodsky, who's somewhere in the building, and Mike outside, our security guard, for keeping us safe. It's been a joy to be here with you all. We will move towards closing with Kiddush and Motzi, and I'm going to invite the Hoffman-Dar family back up if they would like to join me to say some blessings. And you can find the Kiddush and Motzi on pages 4 and 5 in your prayer book. You want? Fabulous. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho ve'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh bereshit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher letziyat mitzrayim kivanu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta im kol hamim ve'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat lechaim. You can go ahead and take a sip. Awesome. Nice. Thank you. And then, of course, Motzi. Ba-da-ba. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Y'all can take a piece of challah, and everybody else can come and grab some later. And again, Mazal Tov to the Hoffman-Dar family, and we are excited to celebrate more with you tomorrow. And we will close with our prayer for peace, Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom Bimroma. Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, Ve'imru, Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.